If you're tired lately of watching superhero movies and series getting dished at you in the name of action, adventure, and thriller, which are in true sense low graded craps, then refresh your taste by watching the movies on today's list. You might have watched some of them, nevertheless, rewatch them to get back your taste buds. FYI, none of the movies on this list are sci fi or part of any franchise. Apocalypto. I truly enjoy Mel Gibson's work as a director. He has directed few, but takes pride in storytelling, screenplay, and always delivers above average stuffs. Apocalypto is one such brilliant movie. It might not be historically accurate, but his take on the demise of the Mayan civilization is worth the watch. Apocalypto was shot in an epic scale on a real jungle or in large sets. The casts are totally unknown. Clothings, weapons, and body languages of the actors make it impossible to understand if they are real actors or not. All the dialogues are spoken in dead language. Attention to the details makes the movie realistic. The movie is gore, bloody, and merciless. It tells the story of Jaguar Paw, whose small village is attacked by a group of hunters to capture defenseless people for the sacrificing rituals that the city's leaders use to keep the masses entertained. On the other hand, Jaguar Paw's pregnant wife and son are stuck in a well which is filling up with water due to heavy rain. The movie examines the courage of a lone man to withstand danger and his journey from his village to the captive's land and back to his village to save his family. The Silence of the Lambs. There has been many stories told about serial killers before and after this movie, but very few have managed to match its way of presenting the terror to the audience. A FBI trainee played by Jodie Foster must receive the help of an intelligent and manipulative cannibal killer played by Anthony Hopkins to help catch another serial killer who skins the victims. It is also about two characters in this movie, Clarice Sterling and Hannibal Lecter, and their strange, strained relationship. What started as an interaction between a police and a criminal developed into a mentor and protege relationship. Ever since this movie released, the scary look of Hannibal Lecter has ceased to leave Anthony Hopkins' face. He looks so civil that it's terrifying. His composed way of speaking, his straight posture, constant grin, and those glaring round eyes looking straight at your soul will make devil's skin crawl. Bird chirping, sound of insects, heavy breathing, and overall soundtrack contributed in maintaining the aura of terror all throughout the movie. The movie concerns extreme psychopaths and their twisted sexual urges. This frightening, engaging, disturbing psychological horror thriller is still till date freaking good. Hidalgo. Chances are that you have watched Indiana Jones but missed out on this gem. It recounts fictionalized version of the life of a real-life half-Indian cowboy American distant rider Frank Hopkins, racing his horse Hidalgo in Arabia in 1891 against Beoudins, riding pure-blooded Arabian horses in a cross-desert horse race. This is the kind of an action-adventure movie Hollywood and other industries are struggling to make nowadays. Hopkins is played by Viggo Mortensen from Lord of the Rings. It has everything from sword fights, sandstorms, mirages, concealed traps, quicksands, grueling conditions that can kill you, princess, conspiracy, horse race, lavish villas, underdog stories, and your good old classic heroes who wins at the end. Out and out popcorn flick for all. LA Confidential. In 1953, one old-fashioned, one hot-headed, and one sleazy policeman investigates a series of murders that takes place in LA. During this time, LAPD was corrupted. Police officers were running illegal operations with gangsters behind the closed doors of drugs, prostitution, blackmail, even resorted to murder to keep secrets. These three policemen tackled the corruption in their own way. The movie also documented Hollywood's dark past. This is essentially a detective New York crime story where there are multiple potential villains. And as the story goes forward, real faces behind the mask comes forward. It deals with the psychology of the characters. Multiple stories happening with multiple characters, each have their own arc, and at the end all the threads meet at a point. Kevin Spacey, Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce star in LA Confidential. Do I need to say more? The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. It's the third film from Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy. During the American Civil War, a nameless drifter and a Mexican bandit team up in an uneasy and untrustworthy alliance in a race against a sadistic mercenary to find fortunes in gold. There are tons of spaghetti western movies, including many of Clint Eastwood himself. But this movie stands out as a satire of western genre. It has all the elements of a typical western movie. Long close-up shots of sunburned, desperate faces, desolate landscape, isolated ranches, and of course, gunfights. But the natural comic talent of Eli Wallach as Tuco, aka the Rat, aka the Ugly, overshadowed Clint Eastwood. His constant abusing, always getting in trouble, and fighting his way out of trouble in most funny way was a constant entertainment throughout the movie. Also, the movie is filled with iconic scenes which might have been copied in various other movies, along with the dialogue such as, "When you want to shoot, shoot, don't talk." The movie had many subplots such as rivalry between the three characters, gang war, civil war, treasure hunt. This is not one of those slow western movies. This is a fast-tracked gunslinging extravaganza. 1917. The movie follows two British soldiers in their mission to deliver an important message to call off a doomed offensive attack. Apart from the wonderfully tightly knitted screenplay and realistic action sequence, the main reason this movie needs to be watched is to be awed by the skill of the cinematographer Roger Deakins and editor Lee Smith using long takes to have the entire film appear as two continuous shots. The direction, the planning and the understanding between the technicians has to be top notch to bring such an effect in storytelling. It is literally impossible to point out where the scene were cut and where another take has started. Frankly, this movie missing out on winning for the best movie and direction to the overhyped Parasite made me stop watching Oscar. Watch it and judge it yourself. Last Samurai. The Last Samurai is a modern classic. It is about two warriors whose culture, ideology and training are completely different. Tom Cruise portrays an American Captain Nathan Algren of the 7th Cavalry Regiment whose personal and emotional conflicts bring him into contact with samurai warriors in the wake of Meiji restorations in the 19th century Japan. The story is from Western's point of view. It talks about the time when Japan was at a crossroad between its old ways and the new. After Algren lost a battle and was held as a captive since his captor Katsumoto wanted to know his enemies, Algren gradually begins to have philosophical conversation with the other man about the ethics of war and warriors. Algren finally finds peace in the village he was held captive and felt that the traditional society is superior to the modern era being introduced by the Americans. Katsumoto kind of became the teacher and Algren the student. The movie is about honor, sacrifice and pride. The movie had beautifully designed battle scenes, philosophical dialogues and spectacular casting. It's an insightful, epic drama action movie accompanied by Hans Zimmer's thoughtful composition. Heat. The script was first used for a television pilot, which became the 1989 television film LA Takedown. In 1994, the script was revisited to turn into a feature film with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. Robert De Niro is the head of a group of high-end professional thieves who in the process of a heist kills few policemen. This starts the manhunt for the culprits. The hunt is headed by Al Pacino. The movie is about these two characters who are both enemy. Also, they share similarities like their dedication to their respective jobs and their loneliness in their personal life. This 2-hour 50 minutes marathon shows the life of these two characters, which includes chase, shootouts, heist, and drama. An action movie cannot be good until and unless the motive and the consequences of the violence is stated. There has to be a setup, incident, impact of the incident, and finally justice. This is not a movie, this is a novel. Enjoy every frame as it appears.